Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's going to be a good episode. I can already feel it in my butt. My bunions.
It's my breakfast ball shirt. Welcome back to Morning Wood, everybody. We appreciate you being here. As always, I'm Jason, and I'm here with my good friend. His name's Matt. We're dumb. We talk about sports. It's football season if you aren't living under a rock here. We got a lot to talk about. Couple things. Top of the morning news, let's start with that. Two big things to talk about. Azeez Al-Shaair, the guy who hit Trevor Lawrence while he was sliding, is being suspended 3 games. I believe he is the play caller, the green dot for that defense, and he's a captain. After being ejected from the game on Sunday, that hit kind of controversial. It was a dirty hit, but you're a defender. Trevor Lawrence is kind of sliding late. Patrick Mahomes is kind of known for thinking he's going to go out of bounds, and then he just runs for another 30 yards because no one wants to hit him, get penalized for it. So kind of interesting. 3 games is a lot for that hit. It was kind of a dirty hit. I don't know how to think about it, just defending the defensive player there. But the NFL said you can't do that, so they're suspending him for 3 games.
Yeah, it's tough. That was a tough play. But, I think it's such a fast play.
Yeah.
But even though he did kind of slide late, the forearm...
He did, launch into his head. I get it.
The forearm into the head bouncing off the ground is kind of wild.
Yeah.
I usually side with defensive players because it's so hard to play defense at any position in the NFL because everything is so geared towards the offense. But in my humble opinion, I don't think it should have been 3 games, but it definitely wasn't warranted. I think he could have pulled up. Even if he ended up hitting him, I've seen stuff like that happen where they pull up and they'll hit their shoulder and it's not that bad. But it just didn't look great either, getting knocked out.
Try to look like you're not trying to take his head off while he's sliding.
Yeah.
I guess.
It is a division game, and him getting knocked out didn't help anything.
No.
Besides the Houston Texans outcome, really, but that's about it.
Yeah. And then the second thing I want to talk about, Christian McCaffrey, out for the season with a PCL injury. He was placed on IR, I think, yesterday. And then the backup running back, Jordan Mason, is also being placed on IR with a high ankle sprain. It just wasn't meant to be for the 49ers this year. It just wasn't their season. They've just been dealing with injuries the entire season, haven't looked really good. I know Brock Purdy's banged up as well. They just haven't looked good when everyone is on the field, and that's rare when everyone is healthy enough to suit up for the game. Fred Warner's been playing with I don't even know what the injury was, but he's been playing with it since week 1, and it just came out that he's been playing. I think it was a knee or a foot or an ankle or something. He's also banged up. Just it's not the 49ers season, unfortunately for them. It's just been a tough year.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see. And he was kind of looking like he was getting back.
He was back.
Yeah.
For a while. He had 60 yards, 70 yards in the first half and just gone.
Not great.
Yeah, those are the first the 2 things I want to cover. Top of the morning wood or top of the morning wood. Top of the morning wood. And then we will I'll pass it off to you.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do the best segment on the internet. My favorite segment of the show, as always, the Antonio Brown tweet of the day. Roll the clip.
Kicks a man. Antonio Brown.
Go on social media, man. This is about us, nobody else, man.
My pick for the Antonio Brown tweet of the day is his tweet to Mia. He spread some news about the little girl who beat cancer. Her GoFundMe raised $22,000. In the tweet, says her favorite player is Brock Purdy. Her favorite team is the 49ers. That's unfortunate because they haven't been great. But what is fortunate is we've raised, well, not me, but they raised a lot of money for her. She beat cancer. She's awesome. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Antonio Brown for usually getting a bad rep online, but this was good to see.
He's good. He's a good guy.
This was awesome to see. Shout out to Mia. I hope the 49ers win out for her because that team doesn't even deserve it without them playing, but Mia definitely deserves it. So Shout out to AB. That's the tweet of the day. And we hope the 49ers can look like a football team for Mia. Let's move on. Let's talk about football because that's what we do every Wednesday. Sometimes it's Thursday. Sometimes it's Tuesday. But we talk about it every week regardless. I mean, I talk about football every day, it seems like. Let's break down the week 13 in the NFL. Let's start it off with the first game that we had. We had the Bears. They suck. They have now lost 6 in a row. They were 4-2, and now they're not. They're 4-8. This one also wasn't really that close. I know it kind of ended up being close. They scored like 2 touchdowns late in that game, but the Lions, they had 400 yards of offense, over 400 yards of offense. They had the ball for like 36 something minutes, I think. And Montgomery and Gibbs continue to show every week why they're the best backfield in the NFL. They both go over for 100-plus yards, total yards for each of them, and the Lions continue to win. They will win ugly. They will win big. They'll win close. They'll win in overtime. They'll win every way possible to win. And I know Caleb Williams actually didn't play bad. He had 3 touchdowns in this game. Again, one of them, I think there was kind of a garbage time touchdown in this.
I mean, they had that play at the end of the game where they don't
yeah,
I don't know. Matt Nagy, not Matt Nagy, Eberflus gets fired the next day for it, most likely.
Yes, the time management going down on the wire. Again, I don't even think that drive should have happened. There were some interesting calls too that kind of went the Bears' way a little bit. But I personally think just the eye test this game, I don't even think it was really that close. Like the Lions played okay and they still kind of handled business. But I know it didn't show up on the scoreboard. But again, the Bears have now lost 6 in a row, and I find that to be hilarious. So shout out to the Chicago Bears.
Bears are doing Bears things.
They are.
Yeah, so I'll move on to the next game that was on Thanksgiving. The Cowboys
I slept
beat the
during
Giants.
this.
No, literally my notes, I said no one cares, and I'm not saying anything about this game. The Cowboys beat the Giants 27-20. Awesome.
Boy.
Good job.
Boy, Dallas.
Move on.
Let's move on. All right. Along with that, let's talk about the third game on Turkey Day. Well, this is when I woke up from my nap.
It was actually a good game.
Yeah, and I got to watch the Packers improve to 9-3, and that somehow is third in the division, which is insane. The NFC North is a powerhouse, and it's kind of wild, actually. I don't know if I've ever seen a 9-3 team be third in the division through 12 weeks or 13 weeks, but here we are. The Packers, they outrushed the Dolphins 114-39. So the Dolphins could not get the run game going at all in this game. Not shocking. They really haven't been great offensively. The Dolphins, fans, listen up. Y'all are 0-12 in the last 12 regular season games when kickoff temperature is either 40 or lower. Now, I know y'all are from South Florida. I grew up in South Florida. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. But you guys got to, train a little bit. You guys need to fly out early. As soon as the game was over 2 weeks ago, they should have flew to Green Bay and practiced all week in this weather because they just can't win in cold weather games, at all.
No, there's, this picture or, a screenshot of Mike McDonald. He looks like he's in, Antarctica.
Dude.
Shivering. His nose is red. He's got a beanie on. And it just, encapsulated the Dolphins, playing in cold weather.
They aren't. Well, I mean, they haven't been good.
That cold. It was cold there, but it wasn't, negative.
There was people shirtless in the stands in the Buffalo game.
Yeah, they're fine.
It's not that cold in Green Bay.
It's really not that cold.
I mean, they haven't been good all season, whether it's hot or cold, so it doesn't even matter.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs escape another bottom of the barrel team in the NFL. Aiden O'Connell was shitting all over this stat. He threw for 340 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aiden O'Connell, I'm talking about here. But, of course, some Taylor Swift voodoo stuff took over the game. Makes the Raiders center snap the ball when O'Connell wasn't ready for it. In the most critical moment, literally the most important play of the game. Hits him in the chest. They fumbled. Chiefs win. Everyone should just stop playing football. Just give them the Lombardi now. They're not losing, obviously, to anyone. Doesn't matter. They're
Oh my
actually not good,
gosh.
but they're just going to keep winning.
That was a crazy game. I mean, they've won so many games every week by like the craziest
To the
stuff.
Panthers, to the Raiders, to like horrible
The Denver
teams,
Broncos, they should have beat or they should have lost to
should have
them.
won, but
Yeah.
yeah, dude,
It's crazy. It is crazy. The voodoo is out there. Yeah, the snap, obviously, like you can't make it up. I was in Discord watching that game with Wilk, and Wilk said, "Watch, something crazy is gonna happen," and it did.
Everybody knew that the Chiefs were going to win somehow.
I just don't know what to make of them. Like I don't know.
They're bad.
Shoot.
It's the bottom line.
I don't. We'll see what they look like in the
Stone Cold
playoffs,
said so.
dude. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's talk about another fan favorite on this show. A lot of people call him Kirk Co-Chains. You know what I call him? Kirk can't move those chains is what I call him. Kirk Cousins, this man is garbanzo beans. I don't care anymore. I'm so sick of him. You know, after I said it earlier in this year and I made that video, and then the next week he comes out and lights it up, I don't care anymore. This guy is terrible. He threw 4 interceptions in the loss to the Chargers, 2 of which are 2 of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not just saying that because I hate this guy. This guy threw 1 interception into quintuple coverage.
Yeah.
There was 5 guys that weren't on the Falcons in the vicinity. And then the other one he had was pretty bad. Derwin James had one over the middle that was just, I mean, it's just like, it's Kirk Cousins. It was a Kirk Cousins masterpiece. It was due to happen. I mean, you know, I hope the Bucks catch them. I do. I can't stand this.
They're tied right now.
They're tied. Unbelievable. This is crazy. The Chargers, though, let's talk about the other team because I could care less about the Falcons anymore. Their season's over. They're not winning anything meaningful. The Chargers, though, they didn't look great offensively. They haven't really in the last 2 weeks. They lost. I think they only put up like 14 points against you guys. But they missed Dobbins big time in this game. Their leading rusher had 32 yards in this, and they need help. Justin Herbert needs help. The reason being is because Ladd McConkey, a rookie,
he's a dog,
is really good. But like I said last week, he needs to be the number 2. This man had 9 receptions for 117 yards. And the next guy up was Quentin Johnston. He had 2 catches
that guy sucks.
He had 2 catches for 12 yards. The guy who sucks was their second leading receiver with 12 yards. I think I could go out there and get 12 yards. With Herbert throwing me the ball, I think I could do it. They need help. They need to help him. And obviously they miss Dobbins, which is he was placed on IR. So, you know, hopefully he comes back within the 4-week, time frame. But good Lord, this team needs more people to throw to. This is crazy. Their defense is good. They've been good all year, but they can only do so much. They're not going to win every game, but they need to find some type of help for him because this is a good team. They got good players on defense. I like Harbaugh. Obviously Herbert's a stud, but you can't score 17 points and rely on 4 interceptions and not do anything offensively with it. Like their whole offense was Herbert and McConkey. That was it. They couldn't run. They couldn't give it to anybody else. Like,
yeah,
their offensive line, besides like Alt and one other guy, is like okay at best. Like, he needs help.
Yeah, they should have been in the wide receiver market
during the trading. Yeah,
get someone like a D-Hop would help them out a ton.
Anybody.
Yeah,
Literally anybody. That's a great point because Lord.
Let's move on. This Houston team, like, I don't know what to think of them. I mean,
dude,
they knocked out Trevor Lawrence out of the game, and then Mac Jones just starts cooking them. Like, almost beats them. They win by 3. Mac Jones throws for 2 touchdowns, 250 yards. CJ Stroud, kind of like an okay performance, doesn't turn the ball over, has a good day. Nico Collins has a good day, but I just don't think this team is that good. They're just playing bad teams every week. I don't know what to think of them. They're winning. They're obviously first in the division. Their division sucks, but I don't know. I think like they need to figure something out because they're getting bounced in the first round immediately.
Yeah, we talked about that. They didn't look good. Obviously, the best thing that happened in this game was them knocking Trevor Lawrence out because they probably would have lost. He really wasn't playing that bad, and
yeah.
I don't think he would have done anything worse than Mac Jones did, and they still win. They look just like the Chiefs and the Vikings. Like, they just win games, and it's like, ugh, this is just not good.
Yeah.
I don't know either. They're not looking like a great playoff team. They're like 7-5. Again, they were 6-1 at one point or something. Now they're like 8 I don't even know what they are, but
They've been one team with a record or a better record than over 500. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
That's not great. They kind of have a little Washington Commander syndrome, but Washington has not looked this bad against bad teams. They are crushing bad teams. So, yeah, Houston, we have a problem, and that needs to be fixed. Let's talk about my Pittsburgh Steelers. We scored 30-plus points on offense for the first time in a while, I think. Like, just on offense, we did score 44 total. The defense had a lot to do with that. And then 500 total yards of offense. Again, I don't know the last time we put up offensive numbers like this. The Bengals notoriously have given up these numbers, so it's not anything to, I think, brag about per se. But Mr. Unlimited goes for 414 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did have an interception, but that play was kind of stupid. I don't really count it. It was fine. Our offense looked really good. Najee looked good. Warren looked good. Everybody really looked good, which is good. And yeah, that was the best offensive performance we've had in a very long time. And speaking of the Bengals, I know that a lot of teams have done that to them this year, put up a lot of points and yards. They also got gifted 14 points in this game. That pick six that we had, it should have been a holding or a pass interference on Pickens. They don't call it. It's just a free interception touchdown for them, which is great. And then Joe Burrow on a touchdown drive, like in the second quarter or third quarter, I think they scored off of this. It was like a 25-yard pass interference penalty on Joey Porter. The ball landed almost at the wall of the stands. I don't know who they thought was catching this pass on this pass interference, but it was, I guess, Shaq. I guess Shaq's out there for Cincinnati at wide receiver because this ball was uncatchable, but they just give him that on third down, and then they get the ball at the 1 yard line and score. So they got 14 points given to them, and then they had another touchdown late in the game in garbage time, in my opinion. It led to an onside kick and all this stuff, but Joey Porter literally dropped an interception the play before the touchdown right in his hands on the goal line. So we really this is another game that the box score total looks a lot closer than it really was. It really wasn't that good of a game. The refs kind of kept them in it, but overall, I'm happy with our performance offensively. Defensively, it was okay. I mean, their receivers did pretty well. Burrow still makes incredible throws because our division has like the best quarterbacks in it pretty much besides the NFC North. And yeah, I'm happy with our win. I don't know what to really make of this team, but it's the first time I could say that we've looked like a pretty decent football team in a very long time. We're 9-3. We're first in division. Yay. And we play a really rough schedule moving forward, so we needed that win badly.
There's this insane stat for the Bengals. I think they've scored over 30 points 5 times. Well, they've scored more than 30 points, more than this, but 5 times they've scored over 30 points and lost all 5 of those games. It's like the Bengals are like 2-5 this year when scoring more than 30. The rest of the NFL is 50-2.
Dude,
which is insane.
Yeah. I will say in this game, I don't know if it's the same thing when you guys played Burrow, but like I know he got a lot of flack early in the season. Well, should have because of how like he was playing, but he made some throws in this game that I was just like, he had a touchdown throw in between 2 defenders that was like one of the best throws I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He is a dog. He is. Our division.
Jamar Chase like immediately.
Dude, that man was on Call of Duty live streaming an hour after the game. Yeah. He did not care. He does not care about that team. My man was on Twitch immediately.
They make money somehow because they're not. Need some subs, bro.
That's his signing bonus.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the Vikings. Sam Darnold and the boys win another close one. Sam Darnold leads a late TD drive to put the Vikings up 1, and then the Vikings have game-sealing interception. The defense is doing what they've been doing all season, creating turnovers. The Vikings survived the Cardinals at home. They win by 1 point. Like we talked about, the Chiefs, the Texans. This team keeps winning by 1-score games. 7 of their 10 wins are 1-possession games. They're second in the NFC North at 10-2, which is insane. I don't know what to think about the Vikings. Like, they're winning, but it doesn't look great. It's not pretty, but they're winning. So it is what it is, I guess.
It reminds me of like the 2017 Vikings. They had Kirk Cousins at the time, my favorite quarterback, and their defense was really good. They had a good regular season, kind of like this. Not as good, And then they made it to the playoffs, and then they lost to the Saints or something. But I remember watching this game, and Kyler Murray had a horrible interception that literally just like he threw it up for grabs. There was pressure. He like threw it and turned around. The defense, like you said, they did their thing. They've been mainly the reason of a lot of these one-score games, to be honest. But Darnold leading that touchdown drive is very promising for him because he hasn't looked great in the last month overall. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're not bad. Like I don't think they're a team that's gonna like get bounced in the first round in the playoffs or anything. But I don't know. They just haven't had any convincing wins. But I think they can build off of like a lot of these because like they're not doing the stupid stuff that cost you these games. That's a good thing. They're not turning the ball over. They're not making dumb decisions. They didn't do what Arizona did. And Arizona, I know they're not a great team, but they have given some teams fits this year. So, they're kind of noted for doing that. So I guess shout out to the Vikings for winning another close one. Let's talk about a team that can't win a close one. They couldn't win a game in a MAC, I think. If you put these guys against Marshall, I think they'd lose. The Jets suck ace. The Seahawks hold the Jets scoreless in the second half of this game. They also have a big man pick six. Leonard Williams goes 4-6 the other way. Aaron Rodgers throws a crucial pick six. I believe they were in the red zone. They were moving the ball in that drive. Yeah. And huge win for the Seahawks because, like we just talked about, Arizona falls. The 49ers suck. And they really have to worry about the Rams and the Cardinals. That's about it. They kind of control their own destiny as far as the division. And overall, I just think they're the best team in that division, at least the most consistent. And Geno Smith continues to show that he's pretty slept on. I don't think he's in the upper echelon of quarterbacks, but he's definitely like a Baker Mayfield type where he's just going to game and he's going to make plays with his legs or with his arm. And I'll tell you what, one of the most fun things about the Seahawks team to watch is their defensive backs. Their cornerbacks on the outside are really fun to watch. They're young. They're going to be good. And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Jets suck. The Jets just I was watching this game, and I just started laughing at the fact that this team is like 3-9. I'm like, how is this team 3-9? Like, I literally broke out laughing in the middle of this game. I was like, this is hilarious.
It's so crazy. They just can't win. It's just crazy.
They're doing the opposite of those teams, like the Chiefs and the Vikings and the Texans.
Like, if you put all their rosters on a piece of paper at the beginning of the season, I'd be like, this Jets team is like a 10-17 team.
Dude, I had them second in my prediction.
Yeah, I don't know. Insane. Talking about insane, Tampa Bay wins an insane game against the Panthers in overtime. Baker Mayfield leads an insane drive to kick a field goal to send it to overtime. And then the Panthers fumble, I believe, turn it over.
Yep.
In overtime, they go down and kick a field goal and win. But I know good win for the Bucks and Baker. But I got to give credit to Bryce Young because he's been playing good football since he came back after getting benched for Andy Dalton. He comes back, sits on the sideline. But since then, he's actually been playing pretty well. Adam Thielen had a kind of insane catch down the sideline.
Yeah, nice.
Those are probably the only two players I know on that team. So they need to get some players. They need something in Carolina. But promising. I mean, they're going to have a good draft pick anyway. So hopefully they get some weapons. But the Bucks are now tied with the Falcons at 6-6. The Falcons do have the two head-to-heads over the Bucks, but the Falcons could lose out, honestly.
They will.
And the Bucks could win the division.
They will.
They will.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of this game. I did just catch a lot of the highlights, like the Thielen catch and stuff on Red Zone. But I just I love seeing Baker, just like the highlights and stuff that pop up. Again, we say it every week, but that kid's a gamer. Like, it's just so fun to watch. But yeah, I do kudos to Young. He's definitely looked a lot better, which is promising. They kind of needed that, I think, and we'll see how down the stretch.
Something
like,
to cheer about at least.
Yeah, down the stretch. I mean, it's always going to be in conversation if they take a quarterback or not again. So we'll see. We'll see how he looks the remainder of the season. But like you said, they got nobody. They need to help him out a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a game like with the Cowboys and the Giants. I didn't watch a single minute of this game. The only thing I saw was on Red Zone. The Rams, they beat the Saints. That's cool. Little NFC matchup. Stafford on the box score threw 2 touchdowns. And the one thing I will say, because we haven't really talked about him all year, and we needed time to talk about him a little bit, is Kyron Williams is having a really good season for the Rams. One of their bright spots of very few. And it seems like every week this guy's scoring at least a touchdown. There's obviously like Derrick Henry and Saquon. They obviously get all the praise, but Williams having a really good season for a pretty underwhelming Rams offense that we've seen with under McVay. So shout out to Kyron. He had a big day, over 100 yards, I think, obviously a touchdown. And the Rams, I guess, staying alive, man. They're in the division, I guess. I don't know. This NFC West is terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good win for the Rams in that division because it's a tight race. It's probably going to come down to the last week of whoever plays in that division matchup. The Saints, I kind of knew this was coming. Like they had like a good push after finding their head coach, but it's rebuild time for the Saints now. Derek Carr is not good.
Yeah,
it's tough for the Saints right now. Bad division, they're not going to win it. It's just bad. But the Rams, good win for them. Stafford, they needed it. But I'll talk about my Ravens now, I guess.
dude.
We lose to the Eagles. They're a good football team, but we just can't play a complete game if we're not. We played actually good, I think, okay defense. Like we didn't hold Saquon Barkley, but we played well enough for 3 quarters. And when you're losing in the 4th quarter to the Eagles, they're going to give Saquon Barkley every play. Justin Tucker misses 2 field goals. Lamar doesn't want to run anymore. I don't know what his issue is. He's like has lanes and can get 20 yards on a scramble and just throws it downfield, trying to make every throw. I don't know what to think. We can't play a complete game. Like we didn't kill ourselves with penalties. We played good enough defense to win, but Tucker misses 2 field goals. It's just frustrating, but it is what it is. We have a bye this week. We can't lose. So that's good.
That's true. You're definitely right on the defense. That game was like 14-12 or whatever for what felt like 3 hours. And I know Brown had a decent game for them. And then obviously Saquon in the 4th. But overall their offense wasn't just like up and down the field or explosive plays like they've been in the win streak. So yeah, your defense definitely did enough. Like you said, Lamar had some questionable decisions with not running or some just decision making. But I know I saw his press conference. He wants to already get back out there. He's already pissed off about the bye week, which is good. But everybody kind of needs to be in that mindset. But overall, I mean, it is tough. It is tough. I mean, both running backs did their thing too, Barkley and Henry. So it was a fun watch for me, at least. But yeah, I don't know. Justin Tucker, I don't know. I'll get to that in a little bit of a different segment after that. But he's just he needs to go sing opera and call
something like mechanical. I don't know what it is. Like hopefully this 2 weeks, like he has time to like, it's not a game week. Obviously he has time to like go out to the practice field and figure out what the hell is going on because he's missing everything left.
People said it was the holder, but somebody made a really good point. They said that's understandable, but all of off season, all of preseason, and now into week
he's been a holder for 3 years. Like it's not. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
so, yeah.
Let's talk about our last game. The Bills. They crush the 49ers. The Bills, they're kind of a wagon. The NFC has a wagon in the Lions and kind of the Eagles, and the AFC they got one in the Bills. The 49ers, like we said, top of the morning news, likely CMC is gone for the rest of the season. That's not great at all. And just overall disappointing season for San Francisco. Kyle Juszczyk also fumbling on the 1 yard line. They had a great drive, and to cap it off, I thought he was going to score. He ends up fumbling. I think this was like a 7-point swing. I think Buffalo goes down and scores off of this, I think. And I think that sealed the momentum for San Francisco to not only stay in this game, but to have a chance to win it, really. After that, it was kind of a downhill. I mean, it literally was like an avalanche in the snow, like literally. They have the fumble on the 1 yard line. McCaffrey gets hurt. Like, it just wasn't. It was not their night.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. I can't believe that team is. It's almost like the Jets. That's another team. I just cannot believe their record. But the Bills, and lastly in my notes, the Bills they look good. They look like the best team in the AFC right now. And yeah, I mean, they're just a good football team. And McDermott has that defense playing a lot better than it looked in the first 4 weeks of the season. And I just think Josh Allen is the type of dude that no matter who's out there, it's almost like Herbert, where it doesn't matter who's out there. He's just going to throw the damn ball to somebody and they're going to win. They're going to win games. So shout out to the Buffalo Bills.
Josh Allen has a passing and receiving touchdown on the same play.
First person I think ever.
Josh Allen. He's a dog. I love watching him play, especially in that snow. Blizzard was crazy. It looked like the Bills were just playing on a different field than the 49ers the entire game. So
yeah,
I like this Bills team. Obviously, they could go, and I hope they do go and beat the Chiefs.
They're looking like they're going to. The one thing I will say is I love watching Buffalo in the winter when they score and they show the crowd and everybody's just throwing snow up. It's awesome. Buffalo fans deserve something this year.
Before this, they pay fans
$10
an hour to go shovel the stands out, which is awesome.
They're crazy. They deserve a win deep in the playoffs.
I hope the Chiefs just lose so the Bills can have home field advantage.
Home field in Buffalo would be historic.
They could just go.
That would be awesome. But that's our recap.
That's the recap. Let's go over our picks.
Yeah,
what did we choose?
Let's talk about it.
What did we choose?
So we'll start off with the first game of Thanksgiving. We both chose the Lions. We both win that. It is easy to pick against the Bears right now.
Yeah.
And then we had a game that I didn't watch. Actually, matter of fact, this game watched me sleep. I picked the Cowboys, and so did Jason, and we went 2-0.
Yeah. Yay.
That's good.
We went 3-0 on Thanksgiving.
We did go 3
because we both had the Packers beating the Dolphinos. Yay.
Yeah, Mike McDaniels, you gotta figure it out, buddy. I don't know.
And we both picked the Chiefs because Black Magic won on Black Friday against the Raiders.
And then we split. Wait, did we split?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yes, I remember last week he said that he had to catch up, so he was going to pick the Falcons, and I said that he would regret it. He's regretting it. We split on this. We actually split on the next 2 games. I take the Chargers. They beat the Falcons. He took the Bengals. My Steelers beat the Bengals, so we split on those 2 games, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Jason.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Dude.
But we both had the Texans beating the Jags because somehow they just keep winning, and we keep picking them because they just keep winning. Exactly. I believe we both had the Vikings beating the Cardinals. Yeah. Nice.
This is where we split. Yeah. I had New England in this game at home, and it's actually a good game. Believe it or not, another game I didn't watch ends up being really good. Nice back and forth battle, but comes down to what seemed like an 87-yard field goal, and my boy missed it by a foot. Missed the upright by a foot. It actually looked like a really good attempt too. It was.
If it was inside and not 23 degrees outside, it probably would have went in.
It probably
was September.
Yeah,
inside, that thing probably goes.
Yeah, we split on that. I had New England at home. He had the Colts, and then
on this one as well.
We did split.
I'm an idiot. And I keep picking the Jets for some reason, and they just keep losing.
I mean, you did in the last video. You did say there's no way you're picking the Jets, so I'm gonna pick the Jets. And I'm sad you did.
It's fair.
I'm sad you did.
I'm kind of sad I did too, but it's okay because we both picked the Commanders to beat the Titans, and they dog walked them all over the field. Every
time a Commanders team plays a bad team, I'm putting my life savings on them to cover, win. I don't care, whatever.
Yeah,
they're gonna do that. This one we both had the Bucks.
Close.
And this one kind of a nail biter going into OT. And thank God they fumbled. But the Bucks squeak it out, stay in the race for first in the division, and poor Panthers. Better luck next year.
It's okay.
It is okay.
They're playing good football and losing, so they get they get some confidence and they get a better draft pick.
Right. It's the
It's a win-win.
opposite of what the Steelers do.
It's a win-win.
We win, play like garbage, and then don't get a good pick. So that's our story for the last since Ben Roethlisberger retired and before Russell Wilson. That's what we used to do.
That's good stuff.
It's fine.
Both had the Rams beating the Saints. Not a very exciting game. It was like 3-0, I think, in the halftime. It was a weird game.
Bad game.
And then we split on this one. You had the Eagles. I had the Ravens. And then we both had the Bills on Sunday Night Football in the Snow Bowl.
Yes, I actually switched my pick last. I actually wrote down the 49ers, but my gut, my little pregno belly said you're not picking the 49ers.
And then maybe the most insane game of the week, Browns Broncos.
Yeah, on Monday night.
80 points scored in this game. I don't Jameis Winston throws 500 yards and 4 touchdowns with 2 pick sixes and 4 interceptions. Only Jameis Winston could do that.
Dude,
that's Jameis Winston football, baby.
That guy's a legend.
Insane.
That guy is a legend.
Oh my
I
God.
picked Denver. He picked Denver.
Yeah.
And we both got that right. I actually fell asleep early on that game. I'm kind of sad about it. Yeah, I went to bed at halftime or right after halftime. And it was a pretty good game at that point. Bo Nix was playing well. Jameis had some. Jameis is if Will Levis and Baker Mayfield had a kid, that's Jameis Winston. He will throw for 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, but he's going to probably throw
for the most yards ever in a loss. That's Jameis Winston football, baby.
I love him. I love him so much. Oh God. That's our big results. I went 15-1. Had a really good week. I was an indoor kick 78-yard field goal away from going 16-0. Would have been the first sweep of the season. But you didn't have a bad week either, though.
Not horrible, but not what it needed to happen.
I mean, 15-1 is kind of wild, though.
Still 5 games down. Still there. Still a lot of football to be played.
Oh yeah,
I'm hanging in there.
Oh yeah, NFL's. We got plenty of time. We got 5 weeks. We got playoffs. We got plenty of time. Playoffs. Let's move on. Let's pick this upcoming week's games, and let's start off with our matchup of the week.
Thursday night ball.
We're actually not going to tell y'all who we're picking until after because we're going to break down this game. But great game. Another, like we said, a month. 2 months ago when this division starts playing each other, it's gonna get nice and ratty. And it's a great game.
My tweeter is acting up, so I can't pull the schedule up.
It's okay. I can do it.
Okay.
Because I have it.
I got
Next.
It.
Okay, he has it.
Just slow. It's a
little slow.
Little division matchup here.
Oh, it's another division matchup. That's right.
Fancy. The Jets to the Dolphinos.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do here, so I'll let you choose first.
Well, that's great because I have a question mark. So, I have New York Jets question mark, and the reason I'm thinking that is because I just think Miami. It's just I don't like them. I don't like them. I know they won 2 in a row, and then they just got clobbered by the Packers. If this was in New York, I'd be 100% in on New York. But it's in Miami, so it's kind of making me guess. But for no reason at all, I'm taking the Jets on the road. I think I think Aaron Rodgers does enough. It could be low scoring-ish, maybe an ugly 24-21 or something. But I trust Aaron Rodgers more than Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniels. I know it's crazy, but I do.
I'm going to pick the Dolphins just to be different, and I'm never picking the Jets again, so it works out.
Okay.
Works out that you're taking the Jets.
If they lose, I won't pick the Jets anymore, so it's fine.
And then, go ahead, your favorite team.
I don't want to talk about them. That's why I was letting you do it. We have the Falcons with Kirk can't move those chains going to the 10-2 Vikings with Sam Darnold playing a little better, defense kind of playing a little better. They did squeak it out, but it's fine. To make this simple, obviously I'm going to choose the Minnesota Vikings at home I think this could be the first game that they've had in a month that they kind of win big, maybe by 10.
Okay. I'm on the Vikings as well. Yeah. I'm not picking the Falcons anymore.
That's fair. Moving on, we have another game that I will not watch. I will not watch a minute of this. The Saints go to the Giants. You should be paid to watch this game. Make it easy. I'm gonna take New Orleans on the road against if it's the Italian Stallion, if it's freaking I don't know who's playing quarterback. Drew Lock. They might bring back Eli at the booth at this point. Give me New Orleans on the road.
I don't know what to do here.
It's such a bad game.
I'll just pick the Giants.
Dude.
Be different. Maybe they played okay against the Cowboys. The Cowboys aren't good either, but I don't know. You can't. How many games have they lost in a row? I feel like they're due for one. Give me the Giants.
Honestly, I can see that happening. That's a great reason at this point.
Give me the Giants.
I don't blame you.
And then the Eagles host the Panthers. I'm sure they are heavy favorites.
I think it's 12.5.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I have the Eagles as well. I actually think this might be a little bit closer than a lot of people think. Not at least by 7, but I think the Panthers, with a little bit of momentum, Young's playing a little better, but obviously give me the Eagles at home. Another team that resides in the Big P, I'm just picking them right away. Give me the Steelers at home to get a little revenge on the freaking Browns. I would not be shocked if Jameis Winston has another 4-touchdown, 4-interception game here. A little 4-4, but give me us at home. We need this win because, again, we play some rough teams coming up.
Yeah, I'm picking the Steelers as well. I don't think you guys lose to the Browns twice in a season.
We can't. We can't. If we lose, I might cry. If we lose to them, I will buy a Jameis Winston jersey.
I might buy one anyway.
I might buy one just in general because he's a legend.
Every team he's played for, too.
I could have a jersey tapestry of all the teams he's played for.
Let's go.
Moving on, the Raiders Battle of the Pirate logo. Arg, matey. This is the Sea of Thieves battle. The Pirates of the Caribbeans. The Raiders go to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, again, kind of squeaking some games out here and there. They are injured up a little bit. And the Raiders, they should have beat the Chiefs, but I haven't watched. I will say the Raiders and the Saints have to be two of the teams I have not watched anything on this year because most of their games have been bad. Give me Tampa Bay at home, obviously. I wouldn't be shocked if it's close. They just had a close game in overtime with Carolina, and the Raiders just had a close game with the Chiefs. So, close.
I'm picking the Bucks. Everyone is in a close game with the Chiefs. The Raiders are bad. They give me the Bucks by 1 million, probably.
By 1 million. Baker might have a Baker day, to be honest with you. I don't know.
A game I probably will only see the highlights on Red Zone for. The Jags go to the Titans.
Eesh.
Mac Jones is probably playing, I'm assuming, because Trevor Lawrence is out. Give me the Jags.
Okay.
Give me Mac Jones and the boys. They played well against the Texans. Will Levis and the Titans, they're not good. They have an okay defense, but I'll take the Jags.
Yeah, I have a question mark in this one too because I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is playing. He's not playing. Oh, okay. Well, I'll be on the opposite side of you then. I will take the Titans at home. A division game that I think the Jags could win this game. I think either of the teams could win, honestly. Mac Jones really didn't look bad at all. He should have beat the Texans, to be honest with you. And Will Levis will probably end up trying to fake punt on 3rd down for some reason and fumble 6 for the Jags. Something crazy will happen. But I think the Titans in a weird game will win for some reason. I'll just take the home team in this one because it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird game.
Yeah.
This is another kind of a toss-up game here. Division game. Big game, honestly.
This is huge implications,
the Seahawks
honestly.
and the Cardinals. How you feeling about this one?
I don't know. It's weird. Both of these teams, I feel like, can win a lot of games. Both of these teams can lose a lot of games. The Cardinals have given them fits. I think they already have one win on Seattle this year. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
In Seattle.
Yeah, it's tough to beat a team twice, especially a pretty good team. You know, Mike McDonald's a good coach. I like Gino. Kyler had some weird plays again in that game, but I'm gonna. I said I was done with them, but I'm gonna go with the Seahawks again. I think this game, like you said, it's a toss up. I think it can go either way. I should probably side with the home team, but I'm just gonna trust, in my opinion, the better coach quarterback combo at the moment and go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks as well in this one. I don't trust the Cardinals. I don't trust Kyler
Yeah.
Murray. Like, even though they have some good wins against some good teams, like, I just don't trust them. And I like the Seahawks.
I agree with you. I think this is trap game of the week. Hear me out. I think this is trap game of the week. Buffalo going into LA to play the Rams. The Rams still hanging around in the division, but not really too much to play for, I would say. It's kind of a mix of both. How on earth are you feeling?
I don't know. Like, the Bills already won the AFC East. They already clinched that division.
Yeah.
But they're still obviously chasing the Chiefs for the number 1 seed. I see the trap game, but I'm not gonna pick against the Bills. I'm gonna take the Bills. I could see like it going down to the wire. It's gonna be inside. It's not like I think the Bills will be fine. Like on the road, Bills fans might even be there. I'm sure they will be to fill that stadium.
Oh yeah.
So give me the Bills.
Yeah, I'm not going to overthink it too much. I have Buffalo written down. I'm going to go with Buffalo. But I could see it. I could see on Monday,
Yeah.
even Sunday. I could look at this game at 4 o'clock or whenever, at 7 and be like, well, I knew it. But yeah, give me Buffalo on the road.
This is also a weird game. It's like the Bears
Battle of the
beat
doo-doo.
anyone, and then San Francisco doesn't have anyone to play football. I don't know. I'm going to pick the 49ers just because the Bears on the road. I'm sure Brock Purdy will be playing. I don't know. I mean, they're technically still like they're playing for the division still. They're still in it technically. And they're not going to be out of it like for a while because everyone's record is pretty much like 5-6 or 6-6.
Yeah.
So I'll take the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I don't think either of these teams are making the playoffs or anything. I mean, San Francisco, like you said, they might, but I don't think so. But give me San Francisco at home. They're just a much better roster than Chicago, even with it being that hurt. So give me the 49ers at home. You want to talk about your favorite team?
Sunday Night Football is kind of interesting here. We got a divisional matchup in Arrowhead. The Chargers go to the Chiefs here. I mean, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because if they win, like it's on my record. But if they lose, I don't care. I'm happy either way. Like it's a win.
That's true. That's a great point. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on this one. I have the Chiefs in this one. And I actually wouldn't be shocked if Herbert has a really good game and, you know, maybe they pull some
They're
fans
gonna lose
out.
by 1 in the last second.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Lad McConkey's going to change jerseys mid-play.
Play football, like, yeah.
And he's going to turn into a Chiefs player, and then he's going to pick the ball off and go for a touchdown. I would not be surprised if the Chargers win this game because they're kind of due for a big game from Herbert in a statement game.
If this was in LA, on Sunday Night Football, I'd probably pick the Chargers, but just Arrowhead is just a tough place to play. I'm sure it'll be cold. It won't be fun. They'll just grind it out.
Yeah, that place is going to be loud on Sunday night. It's going to be cold, loud. It's just like Buffalo. Give me the Chiefs at home. And then rounding it out, we have the worst matchup of the week, probably. The Bengals go to Dallas. I think these teams have combined wins of like 9 or something. I'll make it quick. I have actually, believe it or not, I have Dallas at home in this one. I think they just have a game for no reason.
I'll pick the Bengals. I mean, they can score.
They can
see
score.
If Cooper Rush and the boys can score 35, because that's probably what it's going to take to beat them. I mean, anyone can score 30 on the Bengals defense, and the Bengals can score on anyone. So it's like weird. I don't know.
Honestly, this
Give me
is
the Bengals.
how I feel about your Chiefs game. Like, I'm picking Dallas, but I hate Dallas. I hate both of these teams, so I could care less on who wins this game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Like,
care who wins this game. Either,
give me the win, hopefully, in Dallas. We have 6 teams on a bye week. We already talked about his Ravens are on it. The Broncos, the Texans, the Colts, Patriots, and the Commanders all on a bye week this week. Those are our Week 14 picks.
And we have one more game to pick.
We do.
That is the matchup of the week. We've had these teams in the matchup of the week before.
5 weeks ago.
5 weeks ago. The Packers go to the Lions in an NFC North banger. Thursday Night Football primetime. We get a banger. Kind of an important game, I would say, in the NFC North. If the Packers want any chance of winning the division, they have to win this game in Detroit. Like we said, these two teams played 5 weeks ago. Detroit beat the Packers 24-14. Kind of a mediocre day for the Lions offense. Goff only threw 145 yards. They did have over 120 yards rushing for the game, but that's still 260 yards of total offense for the Lions. Really low. But the separator in this game was a Jordan Love pick six. Classic Jordan Love pick six to kind of springboard the Lions ahead of the Packers in this one. He had like 270 yards passing. Jaden Reed had like 110 yards receiving. Josh Jacobs had over 100 yards rushing, but they missed a field goal. They turned the ball over on downs in the red zone, and those are just things that you can't do against the Lions if you want to win. You can't give them extra possessions, and I think that's what the key is going to be in this one. Like, the Lions have to protect the ball. They can't turn the ball over. The Packers have to protect the ball. Jordan Love cannot throw a pick six. He can't throw any interceptions. Just feed Josh Jacobs. Normally this defense, the Lions defense, is a pass funnel. Like, they are good against the run, but he had success 5 weeks ago. Just give Josh Jacobs the ball. He's been running all over teams. Just feed him. Don't let Jordan Love have to play hero ball because it's not going to work against the Lions.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said because that's my key matchup in this one. Again, like we said, a big NFC North battle. Very important. I don't think the Packers are going to take the division, but this could be important for just the NFC playoff seeding in general for them. Two of the best teams in the conference. And like you were talking about, my key matchup is just the two quarterbacks in general, their play. I wrote down whoever does not turn the ball over. Yeah. Obviously, it leans more towards Love because he is more keen to turning the ball over. But I think it goes both ways for both of these teams. These are good football teams. You don't want to give either one of them extra possessions, like you said. I also think third down, the money down, this is important. I say that's been important this year. That blends into fourth down too. Like if you get into a 3rd and 3 and you get 1 yard, that fourth down, like they both kind of coincide with each other. So the money downs, 3rd and 4th down, I think if you can keep drives alive and eliminate turnovers, both of these offenses are more than capable of scoring off of those mistakes. Both of these coaches are well equipped to capitalize off of them. And I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be closer than the 10-point, decision earlier in the season. Again, big game for Green Bay. And I think it's going to be a banger. Banger. And my pick in this one, give me the Lions at home. Again, I picked them in the first time, and I think they actually sweep the Packers this year.
Yeah, this is hard. I can't pick against the Lions. It's hard, especially at home. I think this is going to be higher scoring than 24-14 than it was in Lambeau. This is inside a dome. I think the Lions get going a little bit. The Packers had a great game against the Lions offensively. But I think this one could be like a 35-30 game, like something crazy. I got to pick the Lions. There's no way I'm picking against them. I don't know. That's it.
That's fair.
Let's go through our power rankings for week 14. Not a lot of movement from my list. The only thing that really moves down is the Ravens for me. I think that's the same for you, right?
It is the same for me. They moved down 2 spots and 2 other teams replaced them. That's all that
Yeah.
really happened
I
with my
have the
list.
Lions, Bills, Eagles, Chiefs were my 1 through 4 last week.
Yep.
That's the same for you as well.
Mine are the same. Detroit, Buffalo, Kansas City, and Minnesota are my 1 through 4. I think you could argue, obviously, Philly is definitely a top 4 team. I agree.
Yeah.
But I hate their coach. So
Yeah, and then the Steelers I had at 5 last week. I just still have them there. And then the Vikings right there at 6. They're still there as well. Well, actually, the Ravens were at 6, so the Vikings move up 1.
yeah, I had Philly at 5. They're still at 5. Again, my 3 through 5. I said this last week. You can kind of argue wherever those go. This is where the first movement of my top 10 comes in. Green Bay moves up a slot. They handle the Dolphins, and they move up with your Ravens falling out of the 6th spot for me.
Yeah, the Packers move up 1 for me from 8 to 7. They're right there. I kind of think the Packers are a better team than the Vikings, but I just can't put them there yet.
Yeah. I have Pittsburgh, my Steelers. They move up 1 spot after I bounced them almost out of the top 10 for losing to the Browns. They move up to number 7. And again, that is just they move up a spot because the Ravens fall.
Yeah. And then I have the Ravens at 8. I don't know. They're just a dumb team.
They're just a dumb team. We actually have the same 7 or 8 through 10. Baltimore, for me, they fall 2 spots after the loss to the Eagles. I don't even think they're really like the 8th best team in the NFL. Like, they're probably still could beat everybody in the top 5 and 6, but they just had 4 losses, and it's just a weird football team right now. I don't know what it is, but they are followed by the Chargers. Again, they win, and Washington at 10 still kind of a demolish of the Titans. And yeah, everybody in my top 10 won except for the Ravens. That's the 2 spots they fall, and the 2 guys go up, Green Bay and Steelers.
Yep. Same with me. Honestly, Chargers at 9, Commanders at 10. Yeah.
I still think these are the 10 best teams. It's just where they're kind of sitting can be debatable. Philly, again, I have them at 5. People would probably have them in their top 3, maybe. But again, 1 through 5 for me is like probably all the teams that are going to be in contention to win a Super Bowl. So it's fine. That's our top 10, though. Power rankings.
Top 10. Let's make some bets here.
Yep.
Let's make some bets.
I like that.
These 4 are hitting this week.
I mean, we're on a hot streak.
We are on a hot streak.
I don't think we've lost all year.
And this week's hot streak is going to start with Seattle Seahawks plus 2.5. You can take a money line if you wanted to because they're beating the Cardinals, but we'll take 2.5 points to be safe. Seahawks plus 2.5. I like that. I think they win outright against the Cardinals.
Yeah, for my pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings. They are -6. Again, Arizona's given some teams some fits. I know Minnesota hasn't won convincingly that much this season. 7 out of the 10 wins, 1 possession. It's fine. This is the game where they win at least by a touchdown. Trust me, at home.
Big trust.
They need a win. They need a kind of convincing win. I think they put it all together like they did the first couple of weeks, and they get back to that brand of football.
I got the Chargers plus 4 against the
like
Chiefs
this
on
a lot.
Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs beat the Panthers by 3 points. They beat the Raiders by 2 points. The Chargers can lose by at least 4. I think that they're going to have a game-winning drive. They're down by 2 at the end of the game. Something's going to happen. The ref's going to shoot the quarterback in the head. I don't know. It's like the Chargers they're going to miss a field goal. Snap's going to go over his head. I don't know. They're covering 4 points.
Taylor Swift might return a kickoff for a touchdown.
She might. She might be on the headset, like calling plays. Patrick Mahomes' ear.
I like that pick. I have another kind of controversial pick, but it's going to hit because I know what I'm talking about.
Ball.
Also, I meant Atlanta. Atlanta is in Minnesota, not Arizona. I got my A's confused. I'm dyslexic.
A's.
Atlanta. Minnesota will beat Atlanta by a touchdown. Don't you worry. My other controversial kind of pick, it's fine though because it's hitting. San Francisco -4. I know they haven't won. They haven't looked great, but they're hosting Chicago. I trust that defense and coaching staff to coach up against a rookie quarterback. Give me San Francisco. I think they can win by like at least a touchdown at home. They need luckily for them, the division is not a runaway, so every game is a must win. Thank God. And I think the defense gives Caleb Williams fits, and I think they get the job done at home against a rookie quarterback.
It's hitting.
That is correct.
I like it.
I agree.
So we had run through Seahawks +2.5, Minnesota Vikings -6, Chargers +4, San Francisco 49ers -4. Lock it in.
Those are all hitting.
Let's talk about college football. It's a pretty important time right now.
It is conference championship weekend, baby.
Pretty important stuff we're about to break down. Let's talk about our last week 14's pick results. Kind of some craziness happening in college football. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Actually, you start.
Yeah, I got you. Number 16, South Carolina, they go into Clemson and win.
Really good game.
Really good game. Kind of last second win here.
Yeah.
Back and forth, kind of low scoring ish. And yeah, they pull out the win in a crucial game against Clemson. Kind of keeps their hopes maybe alive for the playoff, I think, with South Carolina. Maybe. They're 9-3.
You know who else is 9-3? Alabama's 9-3 as well.
Alabama's 9-3.
In the SEC.
How about that?
What the heck?
You know who else is 9-3? The Clemson Tigers.
That's crazy.
Clemson falls at home. Kind of a disappointing for them in the ACC. Not really sure what the heck's going to go on in the ACC, but I chose South Carolina in this one. Jason chose Clemson, and we both split on that one.
Yeah. Texas goes to Texas A&M. Horns up.
Horns up, baby.
Horns up.
All right.
Kind of an insane, not an insane game.
It was good.
It was a good game.
It was a good game.
I don't really have much to say, honestly. Texas.
They did what they needed to do.
They did it.
They didn't really – it wasn't like a convincing win. Texas definitely could have played better. But on the road in that stadium, it's tough. Honestly, Texas A&M kind of – the mistakes down the stretch in that game really costed them. I forget his name, number 10, the quarterback. It's drawn a blank. But he had some crucial kind of decisions and stuff. But, I mean, if obviously they're looking at the game and they had a lot of plays that they want back. But Texas, they did enough. Their defense played really well. And we both picked them, so we both got the win. That's great.
That is good.
Moving on, this is a game where we split. That was actually my only 2 wins of the weekend because everybody in college football, when I pick them, decides to forget how to play college football. So let's talk about one of those teams. Kansas State, Iowa State, they lose by like 7 or 8. They lose by 1 possession because I pick them. They go on the road. Iowa State secures their spot in the Big 12 championship game, and they kind of own their own destiny now for the college football playoff. And Kansas State should be
Kansas State sucks.
Put in prison.
I told you they suck.
I mean, they lost by 1 possession. Like they could have won.
8 points. That's a lot of points.
It's 1 possession. We split on this. I chose Kansas State. They didn't win it. The Cyclones win.
Cyclones.
He got the dub.
Arkansas goes to Missouri. You had the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
I had the Tigers.
They make me want to take a razor to my back.
I kind of just picked Missouri because you picked Arkansas. I didn't love this game.
I mean, it worked out.
Yeah, it did work out. Missouri at home, they get a win.
Yeah, another 1 possession game that I lose on because Arkansas decides to just not play good against an overrated Missouri team. It's okay, though. Let's talk about a game that we both didn't have any idea of what was happening except for Michigan Wolverine football. Might have been the only people in the country that thought, maybe the world, that thought they were going to win this game. They go into the
probably some Michigan fans that were about to get blown out.
21-point dogs. 21-point dogs. They said, have you seen how we played all season? We're going to get destroyed. And they said, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
They go into the horseshoe. They go to the number 2 team in the United States of America, and they win. And they plant that flag right on the Ohio State Buckeyes logo.
Pepper sprayed after the game is craziness.
And we're going to talk about that in a little bit here, but
Shoe.
we both took the L on that because 21-point favorites is why.
Makes sense.
Yep.
And then you pick against Notre Dame and lose. Notre Dame beats USC. And yeah.
We're going down. We're down 7. We're down 7 at home against the overrated Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We're driving down the field. And Caleb Williams wannabe decides that they're down by 7. They're in scoring range. They're about to score a touchdown. And this idiot's going to go pick 6, followed by pick 6. Are you kidding me? A 14.
Jameis Winston.
Is this Jameis Winston's long lost kid? 14-point swing in like 2 minutes. I'm just sitting there watching it. I have it up on this monitor. I have another game up on this monitor. I don't remember what was on this one. I'm watching. I'm like, oh my God, USC's going to go down, tie the game. They're going to get the ball net, and they're going to score and get a game. They're going to knock Notre Dame out of the playoff, and everything is going to be all right in the world. Miami might squeak in. Not so fast. Jameis Winston 2.0 said, not on my watch. I'm throwing 2 100-yard pick sixes in back-to-back possessions, and USC takes the L. I take the L. I go 2-4. College football sucks. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. 4-2.
I'm 13 games up on you now.
I'm copying every pick you have.
I mean, if you didn't pick against Notre Dame every week, you'd be like 4 games behind instead of 13.
There are 2 teams in college football that have the Taylor Swift, Bukaka, Voodoo, Lord Voldemort on their side. It's Notre Dame and Georgia. And we're going to talk about – I'm going to put that in the notes right now. I'm talking about Georgia after this.
Talk about – oh, yeah, Georgia. They played on Friday.
They did play on Friday. Those are our picks. I went 2-4, just like I've done the last 3 weeks. I'm now negative on the season. Somehow, I'm 39-40. Are we kidding me?
Against Georgia every 20, and you pick against Notre Dame every
29 of those 40 are Notre Dame and Georgia baloney games. I don't care anymore. They're just Lord Voldemort.
Army to beat Notre Dame.
Dude, they were destined to win that game, bro. You don't understand. They were destined to win. We have a new election, and we had an election this year, and a service academy was undefeated. They should have beat Notre Dame by 80. It's fine. Funny. It's fine. We don't care. We're gonna move on to the Week 14 recap. Let's talk about 3 games really quick. We're not going to break down the stats. We're going to talk about how we feel about the games. Just chit-chat. Let's just chit-chat about Miami Hurricanes. They're back, baby. They're back right where they belong. Out of anything that matters. I'm sick of this dog shit team. We lost to Syracuse. We had the ACC championship wrapped up in a little bow. Nice little bow. And the only thing in front of us was Syracuse. And Syracuse said, they got on the phone. They said, Hey, Clemson SMU, we got you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. And we lose. And now let's talk about why we lost. Mind you, we had a 21-point lead in this game, guys. 21, not 10, not 7. 21.
2-1.
Not 20,
3
not 19.
touchdowns and 3 extra points.
21 points. We're up by 21 points, and we lose. Mario Cristobal decides to kick a field goal late in the game. And we're down by 2 possessions. We kick a field goal.
Bro, that was questionable.
He's throwing his trust into a defense that couldn't stop Maryland School of the Blind. He's going to go and trust them, who's given up. What have we given up all season? 4,000 points, I think. I don't even know at this point. He's going to trust them. We couldn't stop Syracuse. We couldn't stop Syracuse if they were yelling out the plays to us. And we end up losing this game. Cam Ward, again, we scored, 30?
I don't understand that decision. It's 4th and 4, right?
Yeah.
From the goal line, pretty much.
We're on the 10. We're on the 10-yard line.
and like you don't go for it, like if you don't get it, you still had timeouts to stop the clock, right?
Yes.
They get the ball on the 4.
Yes.
Instead, you kick a field goal. You still need a touchdown after that.
Right.
Why are we kicking the field goal?
Because we don't want to use. We don't want to put the ball in our best player's hands, Jason. We don't want Cam Ward to throw a touchdown there, even though he's thrown 50 this year. So we lose to Syracuse. We'll look at our ranking actually right after this to see where we have it dropped tonight as of recording. So can't wait to see where we're at. But we lose to Syracuse. SMU and Clemson are now playing an ACC championship game because Clemson has 3 losses, but 2 of them are in the SEC for some reason, because I guess Clemson is now just going to play more SEC games than ACC. And Miami sucks, and Mario Cristobal has yet another blunder of we honestly should have lost like 3 or 4 times this year, but I was hopeful for us to at least just get in the playoff. You never know what can happen. Just get in.
No.
Just get in. But now
Saturday.
I don't even know if we're going to get in. Good Lord. If we do get in, every team was going to put up 70 on us. So Cam Ward's arm's going to fall off.
Yeah.
But that's my Miami Hurricanes recap.
I'll talk about Ohio State a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Will Howard just forgot how to play football. He was seeing ghosts out there.
It's hilarious because coming off of the week that they beat who did they beat the week prior? Indiana. They thought they were showing up Indiana on who runs the Big Ten. Runs the Big Ten. Will Howard had a lot to say after the Indiana game. He was clowning them. He was
figs out on the ground.
He was doing a lot of stuff. There was a lot of talk to lose yet again to the Michigan Wolverines.
Ryan Day.
Oof.
4 straight losses to Michigan.
Kind of crazy if you really think about it.
Doing, bro?
The other 3 with
quarterback.
The other 3 with Harbaugh are understandable. They had great teams with
But
McCarthy and this year
1-point favorites going into this game at home. If you don't cover the spread, it's probably a controversy. But you lose outright.
Outright, it's crazy.
You should have beaten them by 50. That was the expectation. They were like, I don't care if it's 35-0 in the fourth quarter. We're airing it out. Like that type of game against your rival that obviously they hate each other. They've hated each other for 100 years. And you lose the game? Would they score 10 points? What was the final score? 13 points?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know, dude. And then you had a chance the whole game you were in it.
Their defense played great.
And then I don't even know what happened.
They just did. They couldn't score the ball.
Happened?
They couldn't move the ball. They didn't score.
Howard had some questionable decisions.
He did that pick on his own 20. I mean, the cigarette celebration. Did you put cigarettes out in your eyes? Because what were you looking at? What was that? That should have been a pick 6. But regardless, I mean, they scored points off of it anyway. But he played horrible. I mean, he played so bad. It was Michigan's Super Bowl. They did. They wanted to win. They wanted to win more than Ohio State did. And just to talk about the ending of that game, it was nuts, madness, fight, brawl, the planting the flag and rivalry week.
No, not in my house. You're not doing that.
Yeah,
I get both sides of it. I guess
I get Michigan's way more. If you don't want us to plant a flag at home and you're 21-point favorites, you better win the damn game.
No, but it's good that in the world of NIL and stuff that they still care. I like to see this a little bit. It's not like they're jersey swapping after the game like we're boys. Which I I mean, if I was on Ohio State, I practice on this field, I play on this field at home, okay, I get okay, we just had 60 minutes to fight, but I don't know how I feel about it.
I love it. I loved every minute of it.
No, I like it. I like the interaction, but I understand where Ohio State's coming from, and I understand where Michigan's coming from. If I went into Ohio State, I want to plant the flag right in the middle of that thing. But if I'm also on the other team, this is my get that, like, you won, good job, now go home.
That's fair. I mean, I personally think if they wanted to not have that happen, you got to win. You got to
Yeah,
win.
I
I
agree.
mean, it happens, and that's the biggest rivalry in college football history. So like, they can't even be shocked of Michigan's reaction. So
It's like, it's weird because like in the media, it's like, oh, we hate this. We literally hate watching this happen. Like there's a fight after the game, like all this stuff. But like a pregame like segment will be how much these teams hate each other.
it'll
and
be
make it
highlights of them
funny.
fighting each other
Like it's
all
like,
throughout
oh my,
history.
this is the biggest rivalry in sports. These teams actually hate each other. And then when they fight after the game, they're like, wow, this is horrible. Like I never thought this would happen. Like what are we talking about?
Yeah, that's literally every time like Miami plays Florida State, they show highlights.
It wasn't even
people.
like there was a lot of fights like all over college football, like UNC, NC State. There was like a flag planting thing.
Yeah.
A couple other rivalry games also had. So I can't think of the other one that was like a fight as well. But all over.
I love it.
Rivalry week.
I loved it.
Alive and well.
I loved every single second of it. I did.
Me too.
I love it. Let's talk about a team that I don't love. Georgia. Georgia beats Georgia Tech in 15 overtimes. Haynes King is the best player in college football history. I don't care what anybody says. That kid deserved to win that damn game. Georgia scores 21 points in the fourth quarter because they have Lord Voldemort on the sideline as the head coach. Kirby Smart is literally actually bald under that crew top haircut. I've never seen a team. They are literally the Kansas City Chiefs of college football. I know their record isn't the same, but Georgia has won games by the most fugazi stuff I've ever seen in my life. And Kirby Smart has dark magic powers, and I'm convinced. I don't care. And every time he goes and wraps his hands around Carson Beck, he's feeding him his. It's like little Professor Snape type thing. He's literally Lord Voldemort, and the Georgia Bulldogs should not have won. They go into 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech. Haynes King is literally running over and through and carrying 8 guys on their back, and Carson Beck can't even complete a 5-yard out route. And I hate everything about the Bulldogs.
That was an insane game.
We watched it together in Discord. And every 5 seconds, they didn't convert the 2-point conversion in 16th overtime. So here's another opportunity for Georgia to win it
run down the other side of the field and play in this end zone.
It was literally yeah. I can't even believe they scored 21 points. I literally tweeted through midway through the fourth quarter. I said, "So what happens with Georgia now?" I forgot they had the Dark Lord on their side. And they won. They go into 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech at home. And they're going to be in the college football playoff. Yay.
Yay.
That's all I have to say. They should not have won.
Yeah.
Haynes King deserved to win, but you can't beat the Dark Lord unless you're Harry Potter.
I don't know what to say about Georgia. Like, I don't know what they are.
I do. They're frauds. They're fugazi. It's fairy dust.
It's fairy dust. It doesn't exist.
It's not on the elemental chart. They win because of Lord Voldemort. That's the only explanation. I don't care anymore.
Let's look at the college football rankings that just came out an hour ago, an hour and a half ago.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
My internet is slow today. I don't know what's going on here.
It's okay. I'll give it to you straight, bud. The top 4, they don't make sense, but it's okay because it's college football. Nothing makes sense because dark wizards and planning flag fights and
you're a wizard, Harry.
I don't know what's happening this year. Miami can't beat Syracuse, and all is well in the world. The top 4 teams, you got Oregon stays at number 1. They've been at number 1 for a while now. SEC has Texas at number 2. Then the Big Ten comes in with Penn State at number 3. And the FBS Independents, whoever the hell that is, has Notre Dame at number 4, the Fighting Irish, because they beat USC off of the worst quarterbacks decisions I've ever seen in a football game. Therefore, that's your top 4. Those are your 4 best teams in the country.
Apparently.
Yay. No, really, though, Oregon I agree with. Texas I agree with. Those are good football teams. Penn State is somehow in the Big Ten championship game this week, And
They are.
that's kind of wild to me. Shout out to Ohio State for that one. And then Notre Dame doesn't have to play anybody because they're not in the conference. They're in the Hogwarts conference, I guess.
This is weird. Like, college football is kind of crazy right now.
It's crazy. This top 12 is.
There's no like team that's like that, like outstanding. Like Oregon's obviously like 12-0, but they've had some questionable wins.
Who'd they beat by 3 like 2 weeks ago?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, like
but like everyone else has a loss, obviously. So like it's hard to, that worries me for Oregon because they like it's like that undefeated thing in their brain going into the playoff.
Yeah.
If they obviously beat Penn State.
Probably be good if they lost, honestly. Not good, but it really wouldn't be that big of a deal if they lost to Penn State. I don't think they will because Penn State sucks. They don't suck, but they're not great. Yeah, they are. They are 12-0.
I like him as a coach. I think he will have the boys mentally ready for that.
Yeah, he will. 12-0. It's hard to argue that. Texas, I still think is a really good football team. When at their best, because I said up until this point, I said Ohio State was the best team. I think if a team plays their best, it's got to be Texas. I still think Ohio State's a really good football team when they play their best.
I do too.
But those are the top 4. Let's move on to 5 through 12. This is almost pretty much what the playoff is going to look like, most likely, depending on what happens with the conference championships. But moving at it quickly, the biggest movement, obviously, is Ohio State. They fall 4 spots after losing to unranked Michigan at home. And then my Miami Hurricanes fall 6 spots to 12 to round out the 12 spots. Obviously, the Big 12 representative would be in this mix to, finish out a real playoff ranking. But,
I think a Big 12 team could not make it.
Oh, because of Boise State.
Well, because the teams that would get a first round bye right now are Oregon, Texas, SMU, and Boise State.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Because it's the highest ranked conference winner.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so then this might actually be our 12. As of right now, it is.
It's Arizona State and Iowa State in the Big 12.
The Big 12, yeah.
So, like, whoever wins that game, are they going to be higher ranked than Boise State? Maybe. Probably.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they get another ranked win. They're going to – the only thing is Boise State's going to be 12-1.
Yeah.
So, and their only loss is to Oregon at Oregon.
Yeah, but like a strength of schedule thing, like I get it. I don't know. They're playing like nobody.
Yeah, the interesting ones here that are sitting here is Tennessee's still in it. Only 2 losses. Glad they kind of bounced back. The 2 that are in here that are crazy to me is Indiana. A lot of talk after they lost to Ohio State. You know, they haven't played anybody, blah, blah. And then Bama at 9-3 is at 11. Wow.
Yeah.
If Bama has a shot to get in this playoff is crazy to me.
It is kind of insane.
They've lost 3 games. All of them have been in conference as well. And they're sitting at 11. And then Indiana, I mean, 11-1, but their strength of schedule is like 116th. But they're sitting there. And we round out the top 12 at 10-2. Both of our losses have been to unranked teams. Obviously in conference, but still. This is a crazy 12.
I don't know.
It's a crazy 12. Know. And we're going to talk about our conference championship games right after this, but just we wanted to talk and highlight this.
Yeah, this is insane.
It is wild. And this came out like an hour ago, and I know plenty of people are talking about it right now.
Dude, the playoff is going to be so insane to watch.
I think the conference championship is going to be kind of crazy because it still dictates a lot. But the playoff, yeah. And they're
just like insanity.
Yeah, I don't know. Crazy land.
I don't know. All right, let's make some picks.
Yeah.
Conference championship weekend. Starting off, a Western Kentucky. Is that Jacksonville State, I believe?
Yeah, baby. Come on now.
What conference is this? I forget.
Come on now. Hey, they're -3.5. Oh, this is the what is this? This is the Conference USA.
Oh yeah, USA. Okay.
Conference USA.
Give me Jacksonville State,
I
baby.
can't. I mean, I haven't watched
Sure.
them play, but I think they're good.
I do like Western Kentucky. They have those like uniforms with the red eyes. Like they have that like red guy. He's kind of cool.
The
looking.
Hilltopper.
Yeah.
The Hilltoppers.
Yeah.
I only know that because we actually have a lifelong friend who played at Western Kentucky. Brandon Dowdy. Shout out to Brandon Dowdy. He's like top 20, I think, all time in NCAA passing yards. He was actually a stud. His tight end was Tyler Higbee at Western Kentucky. And he got drafted by the Dolphins. Shout out to Brandon Dowdy. And that's why I'm picking the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, baby. Give me them. They're plus 3.5. Take them money line. I don't care. They're winning this game. Conference USA champs. Give me Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, baby. Moving on, we have UNLV. Number 20 goes to Boise State. Number 10. I mean, this is it. This is it for Boise State. The season is at their hands right now, and they have the Heisman winner, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of discussion about that, but Boise State, your destiny lies in your hands. You couldn't have asked for anything better, and for that reason, give me the Boise State Broncos, baby, at in the conference championship winners in the Mountain West.
This can be a good game.
It will be. UNLV is not a bad team.
They're
not bad.
Football team.
They are.
Like this game might be like 45-50. Like that's scoring in this game. Yeah, I'll take Boise State as well at home. On the blue field. Just Aston Genty. Kind of have something to prove a little bit. I mean, like Travis Hunter's like running away with the Heisman. He's like the 5-1 favorite now.
Yeah,
maybe he runs for like 400 yards in this one. Why not? Give me Boise State.
I agree with you.
Then we have the American Athletic Conference, not to be confused with the ACC, the AAC.
The AAC.
Tulane goes to Army.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! Who do you like in this one?
You know who I'm taking. I'm taking Army. I'm taking 24 Army, 10-1. They should have beat Notre Dame. It was a magic witchcraft game. And I like Army at home. It's a good. It'd be great to see a Service Academy win. Tulane's not bad though. They're not a bad football team. I'm
gonna pick Tulane in this one, honestly.
Okay, like not Tulane. Bad. Yeah, they're 9-3. I think Army kind of fell a little bit too much. They're 24th, I think. One loss to Notre Dame on a fluky magic witchcraft game. I'm not buying that. They're not the 24th best team. They're handling Tulane at home. Give me Army.
Yeah, I'm taking Tulane in that one.
That's fine.
Why not?
Because they're going to lose.
Why not?
That's why not.
Green wave.
Let's move on to some state university games. We got Iowa State and Arizona State playing in the Big 12 championship. Both tied for first place in the Big 12. Obviously, BYU kind of fumbled the bag down the stretch here. Colorado did as well. So now we get Iowa State and Arizona State. Both kind of similar color teams, battle of the colorways. I like it a lot. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, I like Arizona State. I like this football team. They were actually projected to be coming last in the Big 12, and now they're in the conference championship, baby. Give me the Sun Devils to win it.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I like them at home. They've played really well in the last 2-3 weeks down the stretch to take control of the conference. I think it's hilarious that they were slated to be the finish last in the conference. They've been playing really good football. I think it'll be a really good game. I think both of these teams are well equipped to do that. And yeah, I think Arizona State in the last couple of weeks they've scored a decent amount of points in their last 5 games. They're probably averaging around over 30. So might be a shootout here for the Sun Devils, but
be a shootout.
I like them at home.
Now the best championship we have on the board here. I'm MAC championship.
I'm recording this game. I don't care.
They should play on a Tuesday just to make it
so everybody can watch.
Consistent for their schedule. I don't know. Like this is going to be a good game. I'm going to take the road team. Give me Ohio to go into Ohio and win against Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, a little daytime trip here. I agree with you. I have Ohio in this one as well. I actually haven't watched either of these teams, obviously, but looking at it, the Bobcats, they've looked good this year. Their offense has scored a lot of points. They're coming off of like a 5-win streak, and they've scored like 40 points in all the games. So yeah, give me the Bobcats on the road.
Yep.
And then we got a rematch, an SEC rematch, probably the best conference championship of the week. We don't have a matchup of the week this week just because every game kind of matters. Every game is really important. But Georgia at Texas is definitely, in my opinion, the best matchup of the week. And I'll make it easy for you guys. It's really hard to beat a good team twice. It's really hard to beat that team twice on the road. And I'm praying to the Hogwarts gods that the Texas Longhorns will take care of Lord Voldemort and the Dark Lords. Give me the Longhorns. Horns up, baby. All right.
Yeah. I don't love it because Texas really hasn't beaten anyone, and their only like top 10 matchup was against Georgia, and they lost. But give me Texas. Maybe they learned a few things from the first game, hopefully. Georgia hasn't looked good since they beat Texas.
Exactly.
So
you're using your brain. You want to know why? Because to beat the Dark Lord and his dark arts, you got to have the boy who lived. And Archie Manning, baby, is the boy who lived. Be careful of him coming in late if yours gets hurt or something. Archie Manning will save the world from the Dark Lord. I'm telling you, Kirby Smart and Carson Beck are going down. They're going down. Mark it down.
Do you want to cover this game? Because I don't even know where you found this. What is
So Marshall and Louisiana, they are playing in the Sun Belt Conference. If you're not watching this game, you're missing out for real. Like, I'm not even joking. Give me We Are Marshall on the road in this one. Give me the big green machine.
Yeah, I'll take Marshall as well.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're like 10-1 against the spread this year. They're just covering machines. So
listen,
good teams win and great teams cover. Marshall's getting it.
We are Marshall.
We are Marshall.
Moving on to the Big Ten Conference Championship, maybe like the second best championship game this week. We got Penn State somehow in this game. They're at 3. They go to number 1, Oregon. Yeah, give me Oregon at home.
Yeah. Oregon's 3.5-point favorites. I might take out another mortgage and put it on that.
The Nittany Lions just I don't like Franklin, man. I don't like Franklin. Not in big spots.
On the road.
Not in big spots.
In Oregon.
Not in big spots.
I think they win by 17.
Not in big spots. They lost to Ohio State, who just lost to the Wolverines, who can't even move the football. Give me Oregon.
Beat Ohio State.
Give me Oregon. I would put all of my sports memorabilia and everything that I own that's worth money on Oregon. Because Penn State doesn't have the Dark Lord, and Oregon's going to win.
I agree.
They're a better football team. Dylan Gabriel is far better than every quarterback combined on Penn State's roster. I don't trust Franklin. Like you said, Oregon's just going to be ready. Their coach is going to get them ready. Their team's going to be ready. It's a
bad mentality.
Thumbs bang. Yeah, Oregon by 100.
And then the ACC championship that is not featured Miami. It is Clemson and SMU. How you feel about this one?
I don't want to talk about it because we should be playing. After we lost to Syracuse, I actually watched the 30 for 30 on the U part 1 to cure my depression.
There you go.
I'm not even kidding, actually. for my sake, because we're going to look at it, actually, depending on the playoff picture, I think I need SMU to lose.
Really?
I think so. Because if you look, let's take a look really quick.
But if Clemson wins, could they get in?
See, that's the thing is there's a lot going on here. Clemson is 17th right now in the college football playoff ranking. Miami's 12th. SMU is 8th. If Clemson wins, does that spring shot them up 5 slots? And does that make SMU fall for us to get in? I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. The problem with this game is Clemson's 3 losses, 2 of them have been out of conference. Not great. And I think SMU's only loss was to BYU out of conference. So if they lose to Clemson, they'd only have 1 conference loss, and Clemson losing. I guess we need Clemson to lose.
I think you do too.
Give me SMU. And I hope to God, and this is the only for the Hurricanes to get in. Give me SMU. Actually, it's really not. It's really not that crazy of a pick because Clemson just lost to South Carolina at home. SMU has a really good offense.
South Carolina is a good ball club.
Yeah, so South Carolina, they can move that football.
That's what I'm saying. South Carolina's a good football team.
Yeah, and I think that their offense is well equipped to score on Clemson. And Clemson's offense, they haven't looked great overall. And Dabo Swinney, I don't know. I was kind of question marked on him all season. They've had a good stretch, but losing at home to South Carolina, maybe they fall a little momentum dip. It's a big game.
I don't know where to. Yeah, give me SMU.
Bad boy.
Why
How
not?
about Jason?
I feel like every time I pick Clemson this year, they lost.
Yeah, because they
It's
suck.
like they've only beaten teams they're supposed to beat.
That's the story of the ACC right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
Those are
that's
the championship
a lot
picks.
of conference championship games.
That is.
We don't have a matchup of the week this week.
We do not in college
There's
football.
9 of them.
Every game matters. If I had to pick, it'd probably be the Ohio and Miami Ohio, to be honest with you.
That is the matchup of the week, actually.
I mean,
But let's wrap it up. Over under reactions, maybe. You can start her off.
I love doing this because it's a little spicy content.
We'll spice it up.
Gotta spice it up. Let's start it with, has the Super Bowl window, Jason, for the San Francisco 49ers closed under Shanahan? I'm not talking about just this year. I meant in general. They've been twice. They've lost twice to the Chiefs. They've had a horribly disappointing season. They're not out of the playoffs yet, obviously, in the division. But I think as a Super Bowl window under Shanahan now, mind you, this is a great roster. Maybe next year they get healthy. Who knows? Brock Purdy's playing really well. Who knows? But is the Super Bowl window closed for the San Francisco 49ers?
I think this is an overreaction because obviously they haven't had a bad year, unhealthy year. They signed Brandon Ayuk to a deal. They signed Trent Williams to a deal. They have Christian McCaffrey for next year. Brock Purdy's obviously. Are they going to pay Brock Purdy this year going in? I believe they need to pay him if they want him on the football team.
He's been playing good.
He has been playing good.
He played.
They'll have Deebo Samuel. They'll have a good defense. Nick Bosa obviously hurt. He wasn't playing in the past game, maybe past 2 games. It's just been a tough one for them. I don't think it's closed. I think next season, preseason, they're going to be in the conversation that, hey, this team could go. So I don't think it's closed under Shanahan.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Houston Texans, they have 1 win against an above 500 team. Are they just a guaranteed first-round W for whoever goes and plays them?
I think this is an underreaction, to be honest with you. They've not looked good. We've said it for a month now on this show. They've looked so bad, and they've just won games like the Chiefs. And I will be honest with you, of the Chiefs and the Vikings and all these teams that are squeaking out, Houston looks probably the worst because at least the Chiefs have a good defense, and the Vikings have had games where they've looked amazing, and they have a great coaching staff. I do love the coaching staff for the Texans, but they just haven't looked good. And in the AFC, if they have to play us, or if they have to go to Kansas City, go to Pittsburgh, go to Baltimore, go to Buffalo, like they're not winning those games. They're still young though, which is good. It's a good problem.
Yeah.
and they have a lot to improve on. But I will say, even though they are 8-5, it still feels disappointing in a weird way. Because this team, it's not disappointing as in like they're bad. Their team is just so much better than how they've been playing. This team could easily be like a 10-win football team.
I agree.
Yeah, easily. It's more disappointing just because they are good. They have great players. They had two of the maybe the best draft in C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson last year. D'Amico Ryans, again, that coaching staff knows what they're doing. And they're in a division that's not great. I mean, they have good young quarterbacks in the division, and they're going to be around for a while. But overall, I think this is a underreaction. I think they're going to need an unbelievable game to
Just
win
figure it out.
Yeah, they'd have to have an unbelievable game in the playoffs to beat anybody in the AFC, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some guy I've been wanting to talk about. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on the question. Okay. The Ravens, your Ravens, should they replace Justin Tucker before the playoffs? Just some insight on this, just to give you a little bit help on the answer. I feel like if any other kicker without this name, Justin Tucker, if they were having the season that he's had, they would have been canned and replaced, in my opinion. Now, should you guys replace Justin Tucker before the playoffs? Because if you guys lose a field goal or a playoff game by field goals or extra points or something, the city of Baltimore might blow up.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, like if it was any other kicker, but it's like the reason it's Justin Tucker is because he's won so many games for us over the past 10 years. So it's like, I think no one that we could pick up will be more mentally tough than Justin Tucker, to know like he has the confidence because he's kicked important game-winning field goals. I think this bye week is going to help him. Hopefully, I'm kind of answering as like a biased question because I love Justin Tucker. Like I still do, even though he's missed 4 or 5 field goals in the last extra point, whatever, in the past 5 games. Like he's won like us 30 games over the past 10 years. And okay, he's lost us 2 now, obviously big games in a now it's this season we need to make those field goals. I don't think we should replace him. I think he should be the kicker, honestly. It sucks when he misses field goals and it hurts, but I don't think there's going to be a better guy that we could pick up who would be more ready than Justin Tucker in the playoffs.
That's fair. So underreaction?
Yeah,
okay.
Underreaction.
That's fair.
Or it's an that is an overreaction.
Yeah.
We should replace him.
Yeah.
Let's talk some college ball. Obviously, the college football playoff rankings just came out. But in your opinion, 3-loss Alabama team, they should be in the college football playoff.
That's a good question. Now it's a difference of like, should they be and are they going to be? Should they be as a deserving team? I mean, their best win has obviously when they went into LSU and absolutely dismantled LSU, because LSU at the time was like almost a top 10 team. And then their worst loss, I don't even think it's to Vanderbilt or Tennessee. Their worst loss was obviously Oklahoma, getting destroyed by Oklahoma. But they beat Auburn, and they've beaten LSU. They beat Missouri. They beat South Carolina. That's a good football team. They beat Georgia in a far closer game than it should have been. I think at its best, this team is a top 12 representative in the college football playoff. I think the only thing I will say that favors them is not only strength of schedule, but there has to be some form of asterisk to the SEC. Them all having to play each other and beat the crap out of each other compared to every other conference is not even close. The fact that they've had to play South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Vanderbilt. Back to it because we had some technical difficulties, but we're back. Alabama, yes, they should be in the college football playoff. In my opinion, I think their wins slate them in. And when they're their best, they are definitely a top 12 team. And again, like I was saying, the SEC should have some form of asterisk next to it because the fact that this conference has to play all these teams and they're all really good, it just attests to how good this team could be. Obviously, the Oklahoma loss is not great, but yes, I think this is an underreaction. I think a 3-loss Alabama team should get into the college football playoff.
I agree.
In my opinion. Sticking with college football, let me ask you, is Ryan Day's time over at Ohio State, regardless of what happens in the playoff? If they make it, if they lose, or the conference championship with Penn State and Oregon, doesn't matter what happens. Is his time over after this season, especially after a lot of loss?
I think it's an underreaction. Like, I think it has to be an underreaction because, like, obviously Ohio State's been a good football team the past 4 years, but if you're not winning national championships, you have to beat Michigan.
Right.
He's not doing either of those things. And I think there's a guy that's coaching the Indiana Hoosiers right now that might be a better fit. Kurt Cignetti as the Ohio State Buckeyes head coach.
That would be crazy.
They're winning 5 natties.
They might.
Like, in a row.
In a row.
Because he just, like, that coach with, like, just the Ohio State name and then the players that they will bring in.
He'd get so many people to come from Indiana, too, that are good. Like, I
mean, if they win a natty, obviously he'll stay, but, like, I think it's an underreaction if they lose. I wouldn't be surprised.
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
To finish it off, back to the NFL. I already know the answer to this question.
This is the easiest over-underreaction that we've ever had on this show.
Is it Michael Penix Jr. time in Atlanta for the Falcons? It was Michael.
Is the sky blue?
Week 1, it was time.
Are we kidding me? I said this a week, but then they drafted him. In all seriousness, this is an underreaction. It might even teeter to overreaction a little bit, only because he's a rookie and they're in the playoff hunt. But for my sake, get this fraud out of there. And Penix can play, man. Like he played well in the.
I think for the future of this team, it's good that he sits the whole year. Doesn't like if he comes in and just like shits the bed, like that's just gonna affect him. I think next year, like just let him sit, let him be behind Kirk Cousins, which I think they'll do. Like they're not gonna put him in. But
I think his time in Atlanta, even though I actually don't even think it's really crazy to say him to play now. But again, with the hunt that they're in, it's not going to happen. But I will still say this is an underreaction. I'm not even trying to be funny. I just don't like Kirk because, like, I don't think there's a difference of, like, Penix playing right now and then, like, maybe still winning the division and then losing the playoffs because I don't think they're going to win in the playoffs with Kirk. Like, you're not going to beat a Washington or a Green Bay or a Detroit or a Philly or a Minnesota. You're not beating those teams in the playoff. You wouldn't even beat the Bucks in the playoff, I think. And I know they beat them twice, but I really don't. So this is an underreaction to me.
It's fair.
Obviously.
I knew it.
I'm excited, though. I would be if I was an Atlanta fan, I'd be excited to see what this kid has. Like you said, after sitting for a year, learning the system and everything.
That's the episode.
That is the episode.
That's ball.
That's football. We got conference championship week. My goodness, Miami, you suck.
It is conference championship week.
It is. We got some big games. Big games. Good NFL games. Good NFL games.
I'm excited
good.
that it's like a college football slate where there's not 60 games. There's like 10.
And they all like
matter. Yeah.
And affect a lot of other things. This is going to be the most fun Sunday or Saturday.
If Texas loses to Georgia,
I will literally fly there.
What happens?
And personally,
like the committee's just gonna like blow up.
If Texas loses, they might not even make the playoffs.
We canceled it,
which is crazy. I don't know. It's
Oregon,
actually
you are
wild.
the national champions. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's crazy land.
It is.
Yeah, we got 9 conference championship games from Friday to Saturday. We got NFL on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, game
Ravens
of the
don't
week.
play.
Hey, how about
They can't lose.
we have the matchup of the week on a Thursday? I think that's the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
I will be watching that. That's exciting. And yeah, this is a great week of football. I'm excited. Hope that God, please, if you just pray for Miami, man. Goodness. We need to get in, man. I just want to see us play in the playoff. Like, I just want to see Cam Ward deserves playing a playoff. Like, good night. He's just throwing 50 touchdowns. Scored 35 points a game. Just get the guy in the playoffs.
He's going to be a New York Giant.
He's going to reclass if that's his option. He's going to say, I'm 12. And I'm not going to the Giants. I feel bad. But fun week, though.
I guess.
Fun week ahead. We're neck and neck in college picks. I'm frying.
We are. After this week, we will be.
Yeah, because our Army's winning. They're beating Tulane. No, they're beating Tulane. And Texas better win, or I'm gonna lose my mind. I just feel like it's shaping up to just be a Lord Voldemort win for no reason. I'm excited though. For next week's episode is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
It's going to be a banger.
But
all right.
Yeah.
We appreciate you watching. Thank you. As always, we appreciate you. We will see you next week after a insanity week of football. Enjoy it.
Hey, if your team's playing in a conference championship, let us know.
Yeah, please.
Comment something.
Look.
Anything.
Just a period. That's it. We appreciate you guys. We will see you next week.